Hi, awesome. Great, 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 perfect. Okay, so how are you doing this afternoon? Let's see.
Oh, doing good.
Excellent, perfect. Okay, so just kind of wanted to run a few things. I know this is an online class, and we've all been in this COVID situation probably longer than we've wanted to. And I don't know what everybody's experience is with online courses. I mean, if those of you who've been taking classes over the last year, you probably have a better understanding of how to navigate it. But if this is your first time taking an online course, it might be a little challenging. So I just kind of wanted to run through a few things. Um, so the first thing I wanted to do is there's a little welcome folder here, and if you guys click, and you may have already done this, but in the event that you haven't, y'all, there's a welcome folder here. So the course description just has some stuff about our class, me welcoming you guys. So guys, this is an online course. The only time that you're really going to be obligated to sign in is when we take the midterm and the final. Those you'll log in through kind of like Zoom. We use Teams, so it is very similar to Zoom. And I'm going to walk y'all through the process and give you all the directions on how to do that. But we'll be taking our midterm later in the summer. I think it's like June 21st and 22nd. I set up a couple of days for you guys. And then this is like the course description here. Oops, this part. So I'll let you guys kind of read through that. But I just wanted to kind of give you that info. And then there's a little bit of information about me and where I come from and all that kind of stuff. But that's my information right there. And then I made a little video for you guys just welcoming you all for the summer. Let's see, what else do we have here? We have the syllabi for our class. So if you click on this, it gives you all the information that you need. My office hours are here. Excuse me. And then I think it's at the bottom over here, y'all. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, so for the midterm, we're going to have two sessions. One of them will be on a Monday, which is like 2 weeks from tonight, actually. Today we're the 7th, so on the 21st, we'll be taking our midterm. You can either take it on that Monday at 6:30, or you can take it on Tuesday at 11:45 in the morning. And then the same thing for the final. We'll be taking either Wednesday or Thursday, okay? And I'm going to set up like a, whatchamacallit, y'all can't see that part. Oops. So sorry, my mistake. I thought I was showing you guys the right screen and it wasn't. So let me show that to you real quick. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's see. Let me come back up here to the top. So guys, I clicked on the link for the syllabi, for the syllabus, and it gives you all the information right here, okay? So that's where I was like saying, oh, look through my office hours, and I wasn't showing you that part. But anyway, I'm going to scroll down here at the bottom. And let's see, here we go. This is the important, or not that nothing else is important, but this is important right here that these are the sessions we're going to have for the midterm and the final, okay? And as we get closer to those days, guys, I send you all a link on Google Spreadsheet, and it basically has like, it'll say like session 1, and all you're going to do is write your name under which session you prefer to take the test, okay? And then the day of the exam, I give you guys some real specific instructions on how to log in through Microsoft Teams. Like I said, it's real similar to Zoom. It's almost the same exact thing. It's just through Microsoft instead of whoever owns Zoom. But we'll have those two sessions, one for the final and one for the midterm. So let me get back to our home page. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen. And I'm going to go back to the other one. Let's see what here. Okay, so that was the syllabus. Guys, all I did here under contact information, I just included this at the last. And it's the same thing from the syllabus where you have my office hours, okay? Guys, every Monday, I'm going to have a class session. And I didn't do this last summer, and I didn't even do this last fall. I started doing this in January when in some of my classes, some students were kind of falling behind, and it was hard to kind of find the motivation to do the work, I think is what a lot of them were experiencing. So I started doing these class sessions, and what I would do during my class session is I would start just going over material, and a lot of people really found that helpful. So so that's what I want to do every Monday night. And you're not obligated to log in at all. Like I said, I'm recording this session, and I'm going to send out a link on Pronto later on this evening. That'll have, I'm going to post this to YouTube, and I'm going to send it out to you guys and say, hey, here's our class session from this evening. And you know, it's up if you guys, if you're interested, you can watch it. If you're not interested, you don't need to. But I'm doing this just so that for those people who kind of need a little bit of extra structure, because you know, in an online class, it's kind of really up to you when you want to do your work, as long as you get everything done by the deadlines. Okay, so that's kind of what one of the weekly class sessions are for, right? I'm sorry, I'm going to come back here. And then these are my other office hours, guys. So during this time, I want you to, you know, you can message me on Pronto. You can call me right here. This is my Google number. So I just, you know, created a Google number, rings on my iPhone. And it's not that you can't reach out to me at other times. It's just that if you reach out to me at these times, you're going to get a response right away. Okay. So for me, guys, my Pronto app, what I did is I actually don't have it on my phone. I have it on my iPad. So you can message me at 3 in the morning, or you can message me at 4 in the afternoon, or you can message me at 7 a.m. It doesn't matter, because I don't sleep in the same room where I keep my iPad. You know, I keep the iPad over here in my office area. So if you message me at 3 a.m., don't worry you're going to wake me up. Obviously, don't call me on my Google number, because it's my phone, right? And I have it kind of like right on my bed. But don't worry about, you know, message me on Pronto. You can message me 24/7. It's just that if you and I'll get back to you when I, you know, do office hours, maybe earlier. But my point is that if you message me on a Monday between 5 and 5:30, or any of these times, you're going to get a response right away. Okay. When I say right away, within a couple of minutes, you know, I mean, unless I'm busy helping somebody else, but I'll get back to you immediately. Okay. Let's see. So here's the Pronto Instant Messenger. If you click on this, you know, you can access it here through Blackboard, but you can also download it from the App Store or from Google Play, depending on what kind of, you know, phone or iPad or tablet or whatever you have. Let's see. Weekly activities folder. So if you click on this, guys, right now I have the stuff for week 1. So if I click on this, here is the link on how to create your MyLab and Mastering account. So in case you haven't done that yet, that's really the first thing you really want to do. And it's I did it for you guys. I kind of walked you through the whole process, just to help you get set up, because that's something we are going to use. So somebody had messaged me, and I replied back to them. They sent me an email, and I don't know if that individual's here today, but one of the things that they had asked was they had already used MyLab before, and the question was, do they have to buy the software again? So it's the MyLab, guys, is basically the publisher, okay? And so if you used MyLab before, you used to call it MyMathLab, but you use it for a different class, like it was for, say, Math 100 or something like that, then you would definitely have to buy it again, because this is for a different textbook. Now, if you used it for this course, this same contemporary math, and you either withdrew from the class or you didn't pass or whatever, if you signed up for the 18-week option, those 18 weeks are probably up and you don't have to pay again. If you did the 24-month option, you may still have access to it, okay? So, and then in the link, guys, I kind of walk you all through the process and tell you, you know, should you go for the 18 weeks? Should you go for the 24-month? And if you think you can really get through everything, then definitely do the 18-week. It's a lot cheaper. You can even buy it on eBay, guys. So pre-COVID, because we haven't been in the classroom since you know, March of 2020, but pre-COVID, many of my students bought it on eBay for $60, and they got the 24-month option. Okay, so I think it was even cheaper than the 18-week option, but you know, it's up to you. Personally, none of my students had any issues when they purchased it on eBay, but you know, I can't guarantee you anything on eBay, right? But I just want to let you know a lot of my students did it, and none of them had issues. Okay, here's the thing about Pronto again. I already mentioned that. And then, guys, I uploaded all my notes to a Google file. So if you click on this link right here, it'll take you directly to my notes, and you can open them up in Google Docs. You can print them if you want to. It's a lot of notes. I don't necessarily think you want to use that much paper, but you can access the notes right there. Let's see. And then, guys, I made my own videos for our courses. Okay, so in YouTube, I created playlists. I have a playlist for Math 1332. I have one for college algebra. I got one for stats. I got one for all the different courses that I teach. And they're my own videos, and I kind of walk you through the process, and I talk you through everything. And the idea is the problems that I'm doing in the videos are the same problems that you're going to have here in the notes, okay? So the idea is, you want to kind of follow along with your notes. You don't necessarily have to write anything in, but I usually tell my students writing this stuff down is really, really helpful. And then, like, say after you watch maybe the first video, say for 2.1, then maybe you want to go ahead and try to do that homework assignment for 2.1. You don't necessarily have to watch all the videos for chapter 2 and then go back and start doing all the homework. I would probably say watch the video for 2.1 and try to do that assignment. And then try to watch the video for 2.2 and try to do that assignment. And yes, somebody asked me about this, so I am going to fix this right here, guys. Somebody had asked when they were due, and I said that they're due June 15th, and they are due June 15th. Here I put the wrong date. I put June 8th, so I'll correct that before this evening's up. I'll change it to June 15th. So no, nothing is due tomorrow. You have a week from tomorrow to get everything done. And so, guys, one thing I wanted to mention, all my assignments, they're always going to be due on Tuesday nights, okay? So everything will be set up every Monday for the, so like Monday night or Sunday night at midnight. If you were anxious and you wanted to log in, you would see the week 2 material stuff there, and all the assignments would be ready, and the notes would be there, and the video playlist would be there, and the assignments would be there, okay? So anyway, I will correct this here so it'll say June 15th, okay? And let's see, same thing for this one here. It's going to be due by June 15th, okay? I just forgot to put the date on there, but I'll correct that before we're done for the night. And then, guys, if y'all got any questions, just let me know, okay? The idea is you have really 6 assignments, 5 homeworks, and 1 quiz, and they're due a week from tomorrow night. And at any point in time, if you all have questions, I want you to send me a message on Pronto, and you can message me directly. You don't necessarily have to message me in the group in our class, kind of like group thread. You can message me directly and say, sir, I got a question. I'm struggling with number, 11 out of 2.3. Can you help me with this problem? And then what I'll do, guys, is I make a video of me doing that problem, and I send it out to the entire class, and I'll just say, hey, everybody, one of our classmates asked me a question, so you don't have to feel, he keeps saying, I'm just going to make this up. Juan keeps asking me questions, right? Juan, it's a question again, guys. I never mentioned anybody's name, but I send out to the entire class because my guess is if you have that question, there's at least 8 to 10 other people who have the same question you do, okay? So anyway, y'all got questions, please let me know. I can't emphasize that enough. I just want to make sure that you guys are good with that. So anyway, the next thing is the MyLab and Mastering Course Home. So guys, when you click on this, this will take you to MyLab, and you'll find all your assignments in there. Next week, next week you'll see the week 2 folder, and in the week 2 folder, there'll be some, assignments in MyLab, but there'll be 1 written assignment, and it'll say like week 2, it'll have the dates, and it'll say something like end class assignment number 1. And I'll give you all the instructions for that as well, okay? And then here, guys, is the link for STC's tutoring services. So if you need to do tutoring through the school, this here will take you to their tutoring page, and you can kind of set up appointments. I don't know how many people are going in campus right now, but this link right here will tell you exactly what you need to know. And then the course evaluation. So you guys get to evaluate me as your instructor, and that's probably going to happen sometime in the 3rd week, maybe the 4th week. Summer school is really short session, guys. We're basically here for a month. Our last day is July the 8th. and today is June the 7th, so we got, you know, a month and a day. So they don't give us a whole lot of time to do the course evaluation, but it's usually the last week or two of the semester. And once it's available, I will definitely let you guys know, and I want you to tell me what you think about the class, okay, and where I can improve and all that kind of good stuff. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to go through that. Your announcements, guys, are always going to be right here. So if you click on this, it'll have your announcements, and I always send at least one every week. Usually I send two, just like a, hey, I'm checking in with you guys. So let's see. My question to you guys is, do you guys have any questions that you want to ask me about anything? And feel free to ask, guys, because I'm here to help. So do you all have any questions that you'd like to ask me? And you can either put in the chat or you can turn on your mic and just let me know. I'm sitting right here. Anything, you don't need to be shy. Nothing? Nothing so far? Let's see. Okay, excellent question, Connor. So Connor's question is there a particular calculator? And I'm glad you asked me that question. I'm going to see, I don't know if I put it in the syllabus. I know I have it for my college algebra class. I don't know if I have it for you guys. Let me see. Okay, I don't. So I tell you what I'm going to do. And I'm glad you asked me that question, Connor. Let me see. I'm going to send you guys a message on Pronto, and I'm going to send you guys a picture of the calculator app that I use for my class. Okay. All right, so guys, I'm just sending y'all a message right now on Pronto about the calculator. And so, Connor, great question. So the calculator I use, guys, I actually use, I mean, if you have a calculator from high school, that's perfect. You really need a scientific calculator or a graphing calculator. It's not that we're really going to be doing any graphing, but the graphing calculator has a lot of features that a scientific calculator has. And so there's a calculator app that I use, and it's called, let's see, Graph Calc 83. And I just sent a message on Pronto to you guys that has a picture of what the app looks like. Okay, so I definitely encourage you guys to get it because I think it works really well. For the first chapter, guys, for chapter 2, we don't really need a calculator pretty much at all. You do need one in chapter 10. You do need one in chapter 11, chapter 12. You don't need one for 3 or 14, which is what we do more towards the end of the class. But the one that I sent out right now on Pronto works really well. So that's one that I would recommend that you guys use. And like I said before, If anybody has, you know, a question, like especially when we get to chapter 10 or chapter 11, you're like, sir, how do I do this problem in the calculator? That's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to kind of walk you all through the steps, and I'm going to use that calculator app. And guys, you can use that on your tests. You can use that on your quizzes, you know, so definitely, I would definitely encourage you to get that one. Excellent question. Any other questions anybody has about anything? Do I have a recommended study schedule for the class? So not necessarily a study schedule, Victoria, but I am going to show you something here. Here we go. So in the weekly activities, right? So like if you think about it, for week 1, what I want you guys to do are watch 5 videos, right? 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, 2-4, and 2-5. And then do those assignments. And again, I'm going to fix this here so it'll change it to June 15th in the quiz. So if you think about it, you have 5 assignments, 5 homework assignments, and 1 quiz. And they're due a week from tomorrow. So if you decided you were going to do 1 assignment every day, like today you were going to do 2-1, and tomorrow you're going to do 2-2, you know what I mean? And so on and so forth, then by Saturday, you'd really be done with everything, right? Or you could say, you know what, I'm going to do 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, 2-4. So on Thursday, the last thing I'm going to do is 2-4. And maybe you decide you're going to take Friday and Saturday and Sunday off. Then you know that Monday you could do 2-5, and Tuesday you could do 2-6, because everything is due next Tuesday night, midnight, right? You really have that option. The idea though is pace yourself, right? So I'm glad you asked this question, because I think it's a great question. Because this is an online class, one of the things that you guys kind of have to decide on your own is, when am I going to do my work, right? So every Monday I'm going to be available, like in a session like this. But it's not that I'm not available Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? Anything like that. It's just that I don't have necessarily a class session. We can set up like, you know, if you say, sir, I really need to like talk to you, you know, like the way we're doing right now. Can we meet during your hours on Wednesday? Yeah, that's no problem at all. We'll definitely do that. My point, just manage your time really well, right? I don't recommend that anybody to say, well, you know what, nothing is due until the 15th, so I'll get started like on the 13th. I never recommend that, because it becomes too much, right? So I would much rather you, even instead of doing 1 session or 1 section tonight, I would say, hey, do 2 tonight. You know what I mean? I would much rather you finish early than finishing just in time, you know. And Victoria, I don't know if this is like your first summer online class, you know, first time doing an online class. If it is, I would say finish early rather than finish late, and then you can kind of decide like, oh, you know what, I'm doing okay with this. I think I can kind of manage my time a little bit better. And then obviously it's also going to depend on you know, how many other courses are you taking? Are you working right now? Are you, you know, is anybody in your family ill and you're kind of tending to them? All that kind of good stuff, you know. But I don't know if I answered your question or not. I was trying to, and I might have gotten a little sidetracked, but did I answer your question? Yeah. Okay. Great. Perfect. All right. Excellent, guys. Any other questions y'all want to ask me? Anything at all? How much am I putting up on bench press? Right now it's about 275. I'm hoping to get to, I don't know, by mid-July, end of July. My max was 350, but that was about 3 years ago. I hit 315 right before COVID hit. So if I can get back to, you know, benching 300 to 315, I'd be happy. Squats about 425. Deadlifts about 450 right now. But I don't know. We'll see. Good questions. Good questions. Any questions, guys? Trying, man. I'm trying. I'm 47, almost 48, but you know, trying to keep the body and the mind young. So, any other questions about anything, guys? So I'm looking through. through my grade book here, and I see some of you guys, excellent, have already gotten started. Not everybody, but some people have, and that's really great. And so what I thought I would do this afternoon, y'all, is I wanted to give you guys a little bit of experience of how I teach, okay? And what I'm going to do with you guys today, guys, it's the same thing that you're going to find when you click on our playlist. So I'm actually going to show you that real quick because I want y'all to be able to see that. So what I'm going to do, I clicked on that playlist that we had there in Blackboard, and then oops, that's not the one I wanted to do. Sorry. There we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's see. I think you guys can see it now. Yeah. So guys, if you notice here, the video for 2.0, it's like 22 minutes, right? 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, right? And then I included this in there. This was somebody had asked me, how do I do number 3 at 2.5? And this was probably last summer when I taught the class. So I went ahead and included that video in here too, okay? But you can see all the videos for the entire course, guys, set up right here, right? So if you just, you can just click on any of them that you want to watch, or if you hit play all, it'll just kind of play them in order, okay? But what I wanted to do was I wanted to go through, one of the sections tonight, just so you can kind of get an idea of how I teach. And it's the same thing you're going to see in the videos that you have here, okay? Guys, the idea is, the reason I'm doing this is to it's kind of like I'm giving you a push start, right? So I know in about 30 minutes, we're going to log off because our sessions are from 5:30 to 6:30. And at 6:30, I'm actually meeting with a different class, okay? So that's another reason we're going to log off. But just because we're going to log off in about 30 minutes doesn't mean that you necessarily have to stop doing anything. You can continue working, right? And if you get stuck, you can send me a message. And if I don't get back to you tonight, I have office hours tomorrow at 10 a.m. So I'll see your message, right, if I don't get a chance to get back to you tonight. And I'll message you back tomorrow, and I'll say, hey, this is what you need to do, or, this is kind of how it works, whatever it happens to be, okay? So let me stop sharing this screen here. And I'm going to share a different screen with you guys. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, so let me double check. Yes, so you guys can see this now. Okay, so guys, these are the same notes that I shared with you that I have there in the week 1 folder, right? And the only thing I'm going to do here is, I'm just going to kind of go through this stuff here with you guys tonight, okay? And so I'm going to talk you through this. And at any point in time, guys, if you have questions, let me know. I want to make sure that this stuff makes sense. And I'm going to be real honest with you. 2.1 and 2.2, they're a little dry, okay? 2.3 gets a little bit more, exciting, okay? And you know what? I'll tell you what we're going to do, because I don't want you to get bored on the first day of class. And guys, don't worry. I know I'm going to start. I'm going to jump actually to 2.3, okay? And I know many of you haven't even seen 2.1 and 2.2 yet, but I think we're still going to have a really good understanding of how we go through 2.3. And I may not be able to cover all of it tonight, but the idea is at least I'm going to get a head start. And if you want to get started on some of that homework later on, you know that you can do that, okay? So let's see. So 2.3 talks about these things called Venn diagrams and set operations. Okay, so it says a Venn diagram is usually a set that represented by the universal set that we call U. And it says the items inside the rectangle can be divided into subsets. So like smaller portions, okay? That's what a subset is. And the circle is what we call, the subset is our circle that we call A, okay? Now, disjoint sets. Disjoint sets are sets that don't have anything in common, okay? So we can talk about, like, say, even numbers and odd numbers, okay? So if I was thinking about even numbers would be numbers that look like this, right? And then odd numbers would be numbers that look like that. And the reason we call them disjoint is because they don't have any numbers in common, right? Even numbers are like 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, so on and so forth. Odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, and 7. There's nothing in common with those two sets, right? But we might have even numbers and say something like, I don't know, multiples of 5. Now, multiples of 5 would look like this: 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, right? So on and so forth. Now, the set of multiples of 5 and say the set of even numbers are not disjoint because, look, they have numbers in common. They have 0 in common. You know what other number they would have in common? They would have 10 in common. They would have 20 in common, right? So those are not disjoint because they have some overlap, right? They got some numbers in common there. Okay. And then we have something called a proper subset, okay? So a proper subset is when one circle is completely inside another one, right? Something like that. Okay, so equal sets, obviously, they're going to be exactly the same. Overlapping sets are when they have some numbers in common, okay? And then we have something called the complement of a set. And the complement of a set is, the way we read this part right here, is we read it as a complement, okay? And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that here. So it says the directions here for this problem say given, and we have a universal set, and here's my universal set. My universal set has the letters A, B, C, D, E, and F, right? And then the set A has the letters A, C, and E. And it says determine A prime and illustrate the relationship among the sets U, A, and A prime in a Venn diagram. Okay, so guys, I'm going to walk you through this process, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to draw a big rectangle. Every time I'm dealing with sets, I'm always going to draw the rectangle. The rectangle is going to be our universal set, okay? And the universal set is going to have these letters right here. Now, the set A is going to be a circle inside. We're going to call it A. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put these 3 letters inside the same. Where you put them, oh, it's not really important, as long as you got them there. A, C, and E. So now that we've used A, C, and E, those letters are also going to be scratched out here because they're still inside this big rectangle, okay? Now, the next thing I'm going to do is the letters that I haven't scratched out yet, those letters are going to go outside of my circle A, but inside my big rectangle. So I'm going to put B, I'm going to put D, we're going to put F, and we're going to put G, okay? So now, the directions say, can we determine what we call a complement? Yeah, we can. A complement, y'all, are going to be the letters that I wrote in green. The letters that are inside the rectangle, but outside of the circle. So those would be letters like B, D, F, and G, okay? And this outside here, this would be my A prime, okay? The set that has these 4 letters. And guys, when you're doing this, when you're doing these problems in your homework, they're usually going to be like multiple choice type questions, okay? So I'm going to do a couple of questions, and then we'll go ahead and go through, I'll even pull up a question from the homework so you can kind of see what I'm referring to, okay? Okay, so the next thing we have here is something that we call the intersection of sets, okay? And the intersection of sets is, give me one quick second. Okay, so let's see. Give me one second, sorry guys. Okay, it says the intersection of sets is symbolized, and the way I read this little piece right here is intersection. So it says intersection of set symbolized by A intersection B is the set containing all the elements that are common to both A and B. Okay, so it says using set builder notation, the intersection of sets A and B is indicated, and it gives me some information right here. I'm going to kind of explain that to you right now. Okay, so it says, here's my universal set. So my universal set is these numbers right here, 1 through 10. And A is the set of the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 8. B is the set of the numbers 1, 3, 6, 7, and 8. And C is this here, guys, the way I read this here. This is what we call the empty set. There is nothing inside. Okay? So, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to find A intersection B. Okay? So, A intersection B. The way I'm going to find this, y'all, is I'm going to look at my set A, and I'm going to look at my set B. And I'm going to ask you, do we have any numbers in common between A and B? Can anybody tell me what numbers you have in common? You can tell me, guys, or you can put it in the chat, whatever works, whatever is easier for you. And so let's take a look here. 1, 3, and 8. Perfect. So Connor tells me 1, 3, and 8. There's my A intersection B. It's that easy. That's all you really got to do. Okay, so look, now let's do part B. Part B says we're going to find A intersection C. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at this set here, and I'm going to look at this set. Remember what we call it? We call it the empty set. There is nothing inside. Do we have anything in common between those two sets? What do y'all think? Is there anything in common? Are there any numbers, that belong to both sets A and C? What do you think? So guys, do you think there's anything in common? Are there any, so put it this way, are there any numbers in C at all? No. So there's nothing that they can be, so there's nothing in C, so that means they can't have anything in common. So guys, my answer for part B, for this problem here, is to say that my answer is the empty set, right? There is nothing in common with either of them, right? Okay, so now we're going to go to the next part and look at the next one. Part C says A prime intersection B, or A complement, I'm sorry. Sometimes I call it A prime, guys. So if I say that in the video, A prime, it's the same thing as a complement. The first thing I want to do here, y'all, I'm going to find A prime. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to find A prime. So the first thing I'm going to do here to find A prime is the way I'm going to find A prime, I'm going to pick the numbers from U that are not 1, 2, 3, and 8. So I want every number in that's from U, but not those 4 numbers. I don't want to use 1, I don't want to use 2, I don't want to use 3, I don't want to use 8. So that's how we would find A prime. And so does anybody know what A prime would be if I'm not going to use 1, 2, 3, and 8? What numbers would I pick? Anyone know? So what numbers would I pick from U that are not A? There you go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Perfect. Thank you, Connor. So right here, y'all, we're going to put 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10. Excellent. Okay. The reason why I wanted us to do that is because I want you to look at the part that we're going to find right now. We're going to find A complement intersection B. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this one here in a box, okay? And let me see. I'm going to clean up some of this mess. There's a lot of it. And I'm going to put B in a box, okay? And what I want us to do is I want us to see what numbers do those two sets have in common. A complement, what are the red numbers? And I put in the box. What numbers do we have in common between 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, and 1, 3, 6, 7, 8? What numbers would we have in common? There you go, 6 and 7. You got it. Perfect. So right here, we're going to say 6 and 7. And there's the answer. Okay. So we got one more to do, guys, and then I'm going to pull up like 2 problems from the homework so you can kind of see that what we're doing here, it's the same thing you're going to see in the homework, okay? All right, so now we're going to do this one here. And I want you to notice something. This is saying A intersection B, and then we have that little apostrophe, which is the complement, right? In order for me to find the complement, I have to know what the original set looks like. And here's the original set. There is A intersection B. The way we're going to find the complement, y'all, so I'm going to do it like this. A intersection B, complement. The way we find the complement is we say, I'm going to look at the numbers that are in my universal set, but I don't want those numbers. So if I wanted to pick the numbers from you that were not 1, 3, or 8, what numbers would I pick? So I want every number that's in you, but I don't want to use the ones that are 1, 3, and 8. Anyone know? So the numbers 1 through 10, except 1, 3, and 8. Which numbers would those be? There you go. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Perfect. Okay, so let's write that down here. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10. And there you go. You got it. Okay. So guys, give me one quick second. What I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to take a picture of a problem that we have in our homework. And let's see. Copy this here. One of them. And momento por favor. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to get one more. Because I want you all to have an idea of what the problems look like in your homework so that when you see them in my math lab, then you know exactly what it is we're doing, okay? Okay, so these are just 2 problems that I picked from the homework, and I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to figure these out. Okay, so it says, for the sets U, A, and B, construct a Venn diagram and place the elements in the proper regions. Okay, so let's take a look here. Let's see. Here's my universal set. Instead of using numbers, guys, we're using letters. U, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. A is the letters B, C, D, F, and G. And B is the letters A, B, C, and H. So the first thing we're going to do, just like we did before, we're going to draw a rectangle, okay? Now, guys, we have 2 sets in here. We have A and B. So I'm going to put them like this. And I'm going to assume that they're going to overlap, okay? So I'm going to call this set A. I'm going to call this set B. So the first thing I want you to do for me is, can you tell me what letters do they both have in common? Are there any letters in common to the set A and the set B? And I heard something in the chat. So let me double check. And B and H. Perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do right here in the middle, guys, we're going to put B and H. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do now that we've done that, I'm going to scratch this B, I'm going to scratch that H. Look what letters I still have in A. I still have D, I still have F, and I still have G. And when we take away B and H in the set B, we still have the letters A and C. Okay. So now we've used A and C and D and F and G. So I'm going to come back to my universal set. And what letters have we used? Oh, we already used A, we already used B, we already used C, we already used D. We have not used E, so I'm not going to scratch that one out. We have used F, we have used G, and we have used H. So the only letter that we have not used, guys, is the letter E. So the letter E, it's still in my universal set. So it's still in my rectangle. It's just not in the circles A or B. So I'm going to put E somewhere on the outside. Okay. Now, what I want you guys to do for me is look at the 4 choices that we have. Which one of these choices looks best like what we drew right here? I heard something in the chat. And B. And there you go. So we're going to select B, and we're going to be happy with our answer, right? Okay. Now, same thing is going to happen with this one here. Look what the question is asking me to do. The question is asking me, can we use the Venn diagram to list the set A intersection B in roster form? Now, remember what this little symbol means. That kind of like the upside down U means the ones that we have in common. So the ones we have in common is where they overlap. Well, look where they overlap. They overlap right here, right? This is my section of overlapping. So what 2 letters are in the set? B and H, right? And that's all it is that I'm doing. So guys, the idea here is, the problems that I'm trying to show you guys here, and I'm going to see if there's maybe one more that I can pull up. But I'm trying to show you guys here are going to be similar to what you're going to see in your homework. So I'm going to pull up one more set or one more homework problem. And let's see. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. All right. So here's the last one I'm going to show you guys. So look, it's kind of like what we did a little while ago, right? And it's asking us, can we find the intersection of A and C, right? A intersection C. So remember what that means. I'm going to look at this set right here. And I'm going to look at this set right here. And I want to know what letters do they have in common, right? And so what letters would you say those 2 have in common? Anybody know? What letters are common to both A and C? Okay, yeah, I heard here. F, I, and T. Perfect. Good. You got it. You guys got it. So look, guys, we're going to put F, I, and K. And I want you to notice here in the directions, it tells me use a comma to separate the answers. So I'm going to do something real quick, guys. I'm going to stop sharing this with you guys. Share just a different one with you real quick, like, let's see, let's go here. Oh, where is it? Here we go. Okay, so here's the exact same problem, right? I just copied and pasted it. And we said we're going to put commas. So we're going to go F, I, K, just like that with commas in the middle. I'm going to go chickadee check. And there you go. Good job, right? So it tells me that we got it right. Okay, and then we can just go to the next question, right? And we kind of keep playing that same game. All right, so the point here, guys, is that I want you to notice there's 22 questions. It takes a little bit of time to do, right? But again, you have 8 days to get everything done, right? So you should have plenty of time to get all this stuff done, guys. You know, my biggest thing is just make sure you schedule enough time to get your assignment done, right? Really don't wait till the last minute. My recommendation is, you know, we're going to log off in a few minutes. I got another class that I'm going to get started with. Because I log off doesn't mean that you need to. Just keep working, okay? So let me stop sharing this real quick with you guys. And let's see. Okay. So now I think you guys can see me. So that's pretty much it for us today, guys, okay? I just wanted to kind of go through some general info with Blackboard Shell and where you can find all the important information that you need. And then basically how I teach, right? Guys, in the YouTube videos, just like the way I was talking to you all tonight, I talk to you in the YouTube videos as well. When I made those videos, my intention was I want to make it seem like I'm there with you, okay? So at any point in time, guys, you got questions, send me a message. Look, there's already messages here on Prompto that people were sending me during our class session, but message me, okay? I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll make videos for you guys, whatever you guys need, okay? I hope you all found this helpful. Next Monday night, guys, I'll have a session as well. If you're free, if you're available, I highly encourage you to log in. I think it just provides us with a little bit of structure. If you don't need structure, if you're already a very structured individual, by no means do you need to sign in. But if you have questions, I encourage you to sign in. So like next Monday, before we get started on anything new, the first thing I'm going to do is, hey, does anybody have any questions on any homework problems over anything in Chapter 2? And I'll answer that. And then afterwards, I'll get started on a little bit of Chapter 10, okay? Because that'll be what we're going to do next for week 2. So you don't have to wait until next Monday to ask me questions, but if you got questions next Monday, we'll definitely do that, okay? So that's pretty much it for us today, guys. I'm going to go ahead and